there are almost 2 billion Muslims in the world and less than 20 million Jews. Keep this in mind as the events of the next few months unfold. So I just pointed out population statistics because I know how important that is for social media amplification. So I pointed that out on October 10th. I wanted to say it very early so that it would be in people's minds as they're viewing content. And it's actually surprising me, not necessarily here at Oxford where you're all so smart but and knowledgeable, but most people don't know that. Truly, like for the last 20 years, I've been trying to talk to people about Israel-Palestine conflict. I'll have a conversation with someone and then I'll ask them, you know, like, how many Jews do you think there are in the world? And they'll say 200 million. I'll say, how many Muslims do you think there are? They'll say 200 million or 20 million, like, 50 million. They almost always would say less. Not necessarily now, but 10, 15 years ago. Almost always, when I would talk to people, they thought that there were, at least in America, they thought that there were more Jews than Muslims because there were more Jews than Muslims in America. And the Jews had much greater representation in like senior positions and visible positions. But almost nobody that I talked to knew that. And I found that was oftentimes like at the root of people's opinions. And so I wanted to put that out very early, and I got lots of backlash because candidly, when you start attacking the weak underbelly of people's logic or arguments, then they use the equivalent of ad hominems or they try to intimidate you with other ways. There's this guy, Yuri Berliner, who used to write for NPR, National Public Radio in America, who just wrote this amazing story about 3 weeks ago where just excoriating NPR, a place he worked for 25 years and was an editor, and basically saying that until Trump, everything was fine, but after Trump, NPR and a lot of left media started to believe that ends justify the means, that Trump is so bad that it's okay to fib a little, or it's okay to, ignore details to keep him out of office. And I think that percolated just into so many different aspects of society. And I think the kids that are in college right now, like they grew up in this era of all these different things. And so I do think that they lack critical thinking, but I'm optimistic that the generation behind them is going to see what a failure this current generation is. And I'm saying that to be provocative. There will be so many rising stars out of this generation. There will be people that, diamonds are formed out of pressure or hard times, whatever. Like there will be, I think we're going to have some of the greatest minds of the next century. I think will actually be the contrarians in this mind that are watching their peers be like vampires or zombies, and it will give them such an interesting perspective.